Good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday, June 16th, 2022, or 16th, 18th. I'm like, yesterday was the 17th, today's the 18th. I got Hannah Gray, she's over here. I thought maybe I could get her to come over, but maybe she'll change her mind. She'll come over. I had planted a seed a while ago with some attorneys that I knew that were in some custody battles with children. And since Father's Day is tomorrow, I decided to send another one out today. I wished I would have thought about it earlier, but they'll see it. When people say, "Well, you ruined their weekend," really? What about all the fathers that don't get to see their children this weekend because it's all about the money and they don't care? They don't care about the children. All they care about is collecting money and dragging it on. And it's not okay. Father's Day is every day, just like Mother's Day is every day. It's 365 days a year. You don't get a day off. Unless you take a vacation, and even then, you're still a mom and you're still a dad. So for you parents out there, whether you are the pitcher or the catcher, if you're the one that is keeping your children away from your significant other, their father or mother, shame on you. It's not okay. Now, if that father has been abusive or that mother has been abusive or whatever the case may be, then that's a whole different ballgame. But I see no reason why fathers should not have contact with their children and mothers have contact with their children. And I'm going to tell you from my own personal, I missed my dad for multiple years because my mother forbid him to see us when they got divorced. You want to talk about what it did to my dad? You want to talk about PTSD and depression from the narcissistic behavior of my mother, what she did to my father, and I watched it and took care of him? It's not okay. You humans out there that keep doing this to others. I'm a victim. My dad was a victim. My sister, my brothers, they were all victims of my mother. And her wrongful way of pointing the finger and twisting the truth so that people would believe her, because why wouldn't they? She's a registered nurse, for Pete's sakes. So this thing that I wrote, I think I'm going to adjust it as I'm reading it, which I kind of did. So I said every day is Father's Day to a father and Mother's Day to a mother. What is your role in preventing any father from being with his children on Father's Day? Any mother on Mother's Day? Or any other day for that matter? What's your role in preventing them from being together? And you better fix it. And you've been paid enough. You need to go back in your case files and you need to figure out what children have been harmed, because I'm one of them. And I've got the court documents from that divorce. I'm sure the attorney is no longer alive, but we'll see. I don't know. But I was the kid. And you know what? I'd like to know what the percentages of kids that go back that have been harmed by the system, the broken system that was broken in 1969 when the court gave my mother custody, full custody, and forbid him to see us. Just saying. I have rights, and I had rights back then when I was 4 years old, and the system didn't work. Well, I'm 56 years old now, and I don't give a damn if it was 52 years ago. You don't think I have rights for what that system did to me? When I grew up in hell because they believed my mother over my father? Are you kidding me? That is how sick this fucking world is. Sick. Excuse my language, but it is the only thing you people can get these days. You need the shock factor. Well, I'm about to give it to you. Because my life is not a joke. My life is real. And what I endured was criminal. From the judges to the attorneys to my mother. At 4 years old, I had rights. But they gave them all to my mother. You want to talk about filthy animals? See how I had traced it easily back to the 60s? Because I knew I was wrong by the system. And I'm not the only one out there. Fucktards. What are you going to do to help those mothers and fathers with their beloved children? Are you going to continue to take a blind eye to the neighbor next door that's mistreating their kids and you know about it, nobody's doing anything to help it? Or are you going to do something about it? I reported it constantly, child abuse. Nothing was ever done. That's how broken the system is. I can't even tell you how many times I've called. You're going to take a blind eye and attempt to sleep at night for your role in harming those fathers, mothers, and beloved children. But you're just watching, being a nosy neighbor, talking amongst yourselves. Oh, I've heard it. So is he. Remember, God is watching you. And those around you that continue to participate in your lacks of love and kindness. Lack thereof. When did you forget your manners? When did it always become about money? The choice is upon you to do the right thing here. If you think keeping a father or a mother from his children any day is blessed by God, you can think again. It's not true. And I will tell whoever says that they're a freaking liar. Unless that person is harming the other one and they are in jeopardy of risk of their lives. Again, I will say that. But there are too many cases out there that are not like that. And why is one parent having to go through a psychological evaluation when the other one doesn't? It should be equal. It's a 50-50 parenting, and why should one not be gone through the ringer like the other one? I think that's a bunch of bullshit too. I think if you order a psych evaluation for one, well, let's just do it for both of them. Seems fair to me. Can't imagine if my mother would have ever had one of those. We are in a spiritual war. And I might strongly recommend for you and anyone you know to be or not to be. I'm talking about the bees that flies around. You know when it stings you? Death has no sting. Sure about that? You prepared? Do you know where you're headed? You want to keep making jokes about hell and think you're going to get to the pearly gates and he's going to say, oh yeah, you were just always a jokester, but it's okay. That's not how it works. You have broken his commandments. And y'all need to start repenting. Trust me, I have been on the straight and narrow for some time now. I've been celibate for over a year, and I do everything in my power not to sin every freaking day. Now, he and I talk about my swearing. And if I get punished for that, so be it. But he understands the shock factor. And so far, he wants me to keep using my voice because I know I'm on his timetable, not on my own. So everything I do is for him. I'm doing nothing for myself because I gave up my right on October 15th of 2019. That's when I should have threw in the towel with Man's World too. It was close after that. But officially until I arrived here. Man's World doesn't work. It hasn't worked for years. It didn't work in 1969 when I was 4 years old, and it didn't work prior to that. Anybody that tried to fight the system, the corrupt system, was shot and killed. I've never idolized Abe Lincoln. He's been my mentor. Because I know no matter what, you can do it. Because this man did. No matter what he tried. No, he kept going. Just like me. Just like me. And at the helm, it's him. Shining his big old bright light. Amidst all this freaking darkness out in this world. So I'm going to say this again. We are in a spiritual war. And I might strongly recommend you and your family, anyone you know, here comes that bumblebee again, buzzing in, to be obediently holy to him. Oh God, the big guy that did all this for us. And we're all taking advantage of it all. Taking it for granted. Not being appreciative, not thanking him. You thanked him for waking you up today? Did you thank him for saving you in a traffic accident? Did you thank him for giving you green lights on your way into work? I thank him for everything. I thank him for birds that fly in front of me because I know that was him. He knew that'd make me smile. Just like a butterfly or a lizard. A person that's smiling. Or one that's in front of me that needs to smile. That's him. He sends them. He sends them from everywhere. And you attorneys out there that are preventing children from being with their biological parent because the system is so freaking broken and it's all about the mighty dollar and whoever has the coin is going to get the kids. Shame on you. You are part of the problem and you are part of why the justice system is broken. We know what you're doing to the children. 1969, I was one of them. Are you listening? We the people are not okay, nor is God okay with your behavior and actions. We're not, because the children are our future. And after all, every single person, including the person that's listening to this, is a child of God, whether you believe it or not. You didn't get here from down under, just so you understand. He may have had a part in it, but he doesn't get the final say. He does. He does. So every day that I wake up and I have a full day of wellness for myself, and And this morning, I took her for a walk, very short one, and she decided she wanted to swim. I decided to test out my flip-flops instead of me having, I can't find my water shoes, so I had it, they were there, body glove sandals. They were meant for me, they were my size and everything. So I tried them out in the water and they worked, and they were great. I loved them. So she got in the water, and she got to swim around a bit this morning and hop around in the water, and then she was ready to get out. I told her I was going to be follow the leader until I needed to come in. That's all we did. That wasn't long, and I had to come back in. My complete energy that I had stored out overnight was completely depleted to nothing. Now, you understand why I'm not driving myself. Because what happens when I'm driving and I run out of energy? Like I literally, my body doesn't, I can't, I run out, my whole body just completely collapses. That's why I've stayed so close to home. And by the grace of God, a few days ago, I did do some laundry. So, but I hope you take this, what I'm saying, as true and near and dear to my own heart. Because I'll fight for any child out there that's not seeing the other parent. And I guarantee if you are in a situation where a parent is talking trash about another parent, well, I'm going to tell you right now, that parent is the problem in the relationship 100% of the time. I've already tested my theory constantly. It's a 100%, period. At least in my trial run, every single time. It's unbelievable. So then when you look at it in the court of law, it's the money. It's always been about the money. Whoever has the money gets the kids. And for the longest time in Indiana, it always leaned toward the mother. Well, not all mothers, including my own, are fit to be raising children. She worked the system, and she won. Not for long. In 1969, I had rights. So any kid today, and prior to today, has rights too. And y'all violated them. You think about that one. When you wake up tomorrow on Father's Day, and you're with your children, and you know, you attorneys out there and judges, you know that you're part of why fathers were not waking up with their kids. And then enjoy your freaking Father's Day. How's that sound? That's from me. For all the Father's Days I missed with my dad. You jackasses. It's pretty shitty. And not only did I lose my dad, but I lost my grandparents because of you filthy animals. Until I was in my 20s and went and found them and brought them back in my life. Think about all them Father's and Mother's Days that I missed with my dad. Mother's Day I could care less about. You know what it's like to go to a Mother's Day display and try to find a card that fits my mother? I would cry. And finally, I couldn't buy them anymore. I can't buy her something that's not true. Maybe other people can, but that's not who I am. People suck in this world right now. You suck. And you need to get it together before it's too late. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I got a heart of gold. And if he calls me home before the rest of you, I'm just saying. That bee is buzzing around again. Holy and repent. Obedient. Obediently holy and repent. And stop freaking sinning. Stop it daily. It's constant. It's not how we're to live our lives. That's not what that book says. And those that say otherwise are taking it out of context. They are adjusting his words to suit their lifestyle. Well, I'm sorry, that's not how it works. And you know, I know what the Bible says. But I love my friends that are married and they are of the same sex, and I can't help that because I have always been a love my whole life because that's how he made me. So I'm sorry. But some of my married friends that are of the same sex have a more spiritual connection with God than those that have been married for years and are cheating on each other. They are in monogamous relationships. I was a marriage. The sanctity of marriage to me meant everything, just like in every relationship I was in. I don't understand why be in a relationship if you're going to cheat. There's no sense in it. I stopped dating October 15th, 2019. I haven't dated since. It's all about commitment. It's all about surrender. In the times now, y'all been horsing around long enough. And that bee is buzzing around again. Obedience is the key. You be obedient and you learn those commandments. Because right now, it isn't about man's law, it's about God's law. Because God's law trumps man's law. Because man is chugging through the ground, chugging through the mud, tainted it all up. All their nonsense, all their untruths, all their corruption, all their nonsense. We're going to bring that house right down. That's what we're going to do. When does your conscience start eating you alive? How about we start today? You think about all those little children that you've harmed in all your years of practice. All your years. And you should start sending out apology letters. Not kidding you. Or contact them. Go back in your records. Contact those that were given sole custody to one of the parents. You know, the one that made the money. See how those children are faring out today and your role in their life. Yeah. I'm not like most children because I refuse to let the system win. That's why I'm going after the system. Why wouldn't I? It failed me when I was 4 years old. Failed me. With this house here in Summerlin Key, it's been failing me for years. Giving sole custody to my mother was the worst thing on earth anyone could have done. That was like living in torture. Are you listening? She cut my hair forced me to get perms when I didn't want them, tripped me, hit my head on a cast iron tub, and told me if I ever told anybody that she called me a liar. But the poison, that's the biggest one. And tomorrow, with my remedies from my holistic doctor, I start taking the decon out of my body. That's been there since my mom was poisoning me as a kid, and then covering it up with tetracycline. That's something else that's getting taken out of my body because there's mass quantities in my body that doesn't belong. But that's what 1969. Didn't matter that my legs swelled, my arms swelled, my toes swelled, my hands swelled. My mom, that was a nurse, told me to hike them in the air. Not once did she take me to see Dr. Abel about any of the swelling. Not once. It was always about anything you could see, any blemish on my skin. See how the justice system was broken and failed? No matter how much money she had, made the wrong decision. Because it was a prison growing up in that house. And I'm going to do everything I can so that there's not another child on earth that grows up in a house that's like a prison like I grew up in. I'm going to help you use your voice to gain your children back. And you attorneys out there, you start cleaning up your act. Because Judgment Day's fast and approaching. And I can do this all day long. Until he calls me home, I'm going to keep telling the truth. And I'm going to keep using my voice. Every person on earth needs to do so. So you fathers out there, happy Father's Day. And I was one of the kids. And I understand your heartache because I saw it in my dad. And it broke my heart to think that someone would do such a thing to another person. That's not what he taught us. It's not what he taught us. So you dads out there, that's a special kiss and hug from Minister Nat 333. And a big wet kiss from Hannah Grace. Princess Hannah Grace, aka Hannah Banana. Thank you to all the men out there. Paul Thomas, good grief. Poopsie. You know, I was blessed with two dads, thank God. But thank you to all the men out there that were like dads to me. Even Dennis here at the resort. I mean, I've always had a father figure every place I've gone. I've always been treated differently. My stepdad always called me Nanny. Treated me like a princess. So did my dad. And I've always treated others with complete respect. I just thought everybody was treated that way. And then as I watched during life, I realized not everybody is treated that way, and why is it? So then I started watching people and studying people my whole life. And I watched how people's behaviors changed with how somebody looked, and I'd watch people whisper, and you know, I was alone a lot in my life. And people who were saddened by me being out to dinner by myself. They didn't realize how much learning I was doing while I was sitting there, and the enjoyment I got just by the peace and quiet of nature if I was sitting outdoors on a golf course. My job was so demanding. I needed escape. some way, somehow. We all have to find that. But you attorneys and judges, and fathers and or mothers, you need to get right with him. And then look at your children again. You look in the mirror and stop talking the way that you're talking. Have a little skit with yourself about how you talk to your children. And you think that he thinks that's okay? Say it out loud and watch yourself. Trust me. You can't get past listening to it coming from yourself, or video record yourself. If you need a wake-up call, that is a huge wake-up call. Because if you don't believe you are that person, well, think again. I've heard some videotapes and some audio tapes of some people that I know and love, and I was speechless to hear how children were treated and spoken to with beyond disrespect. They're children, for Pete's sakes. Who did they learn from? You want different children? Change your behavior. It's not difficult. And you can't buy love. Can't buy love. So, thank you. Thank you, Poopsie, for being such a great dad. Love you, love you, love you. Pop, in heaven, I know you're with me always. And our Heavenly Father. We have to celebrate him every day, though. I do. And to all you men out there that have been a fatherly figure in my life, have taken me under your wing, have helped me, thank you. You get me. Even my brothers from other mothers, they get Natalie, and they get my heart. Women, jealousy, I don't even know what. I could care less. I just wish this world could be one giant love fest. Everybody just be happy, and love would just be free, like it is down here in the Keys. Get rid of the corruption. I've got it all here. Just saying. And the tourists that come love, they just think it's crazy they love. Pray for the wellness of your city. The welfare of your city. It's huge. We need to pray for the wickedness in this world. To cease and desist. Turn from those wicked ways. Open thy Bible and learn it. Or if it's easier to listen while you're on the road, there's tons of videos I've uploaded. There's tons of people. You can Google anything. If you want to, best way to start is start with Genesis, chapter 1 in the beginning. I can't think of a better place to start. In fact, I'm behind in my Bible reading, but I'm waiting for his command, so. But anyway, I just felt this was really important. Especially since Father's Day is tomorrow, and again, I don't get my dad here. Neither dad, really. But at least I have video chat, the Judsons era. So thank the Lord for that. That's a great gig. Same communicating via video chat too. So, anywho, love to all bunches and bunches. Stay tuned on more.